Hi everyone, my name is Justin Odisho, and welcome to the first episode of Music Video Breakdown. So the purpose of this is to go through this music video, pick out a couple effects, and break them down and show you guys how to recreate them in either Premiere Pro or After Effects or Photoshop. Keep in mind, 75% of this stuff is done in the camera, or, not everything is done in post-production. So things like the lighting and the fog machines and all that, that's not a post-production effect. However, things like transitions, color grading, lighting effects, and speed effects, that is editing effects. So let's break down a couple of those. So in this music video, I picked out 3 effects that I think I can recreate for you guys in Premiere Pro. And the first one is, if we're watching this short little compilation of clips, this light leak transition. Now, I've actually done a whole tutorial on this. Essentially, they're just taking a short clip of a burst of light and putting it in between 2 different clips without any blending mode or opacity or anything like that. So that when the video is playing back at normal speed, it flashes so quickly, it's almost like a flash transition. The second effect I'm going to show you is this time and speed remapping. So you can see it starts slow motion and then it zooms up really fast in speed as the camera's spinning around, which creates a cool little time and speed ramping effect. The third effect that I'm going to show you guys is just the general cinematic type of color grading that you see in some of the shots, like the shot in the hangar. It's kind of like a widescreen and bluish green look. So I'm going to show you how to recreate that in Premiere. So let's get started. I have a few clips laid out on my timeline, and these are the examples that I'm going to work with. Unfortunately, I don't have a Lamborghini yet, but these will do. So for the first effect, we're going to do that light leak transition, and this is actually very simple. So as I have a full previous tutorial on, there's actually stock footage that you can download of light leaks, or if you want to get crafty, you can record this stuff yourself. Essentially, these are just footage recordings where you pull your camera out of focus and either move it really quickly in between different types of flashing light sources, or move different type of flashing light sources in between your camera while it's all blurry and out of focus. And that creates these quick little light leaks. So I'll link you guys to this free one that I'm using here. It's from Beachfront B-roll, has a lot of random B-roll footage on there. And I'm going to go through this light leak and I'm going to find a portion of it where a light quickly flashes in front of the screen and then goes away. Alright, so I like this couple seconds here, so I'll press C to get to the cut tool. I'll cut that, I'll move my arrow key to the right, and then I'll press C and cut it again, and then I'm just going to delete the rest of the clip because I don't want it. Then I'm actually going to press R on my keyboard, that's the rate stretch tool, and I'm going to stretch this in so that it only lasts about 1 second. So let's place it right in between our first and second clip. You can see it creates that quick little light leak. I'm going to make it even faster because that was still too long. So there's that quick flash transition, and in this case, it's just raw, there's no blending modes, and it's just relying on the speed of things to blend together. So that's pretty easy. You can cut out different parts of the different light leaks if you want to do different ones, or you can just copy this around if you got a good one. Next up, we have that speed ramping effect. So like we saw him stomping on the ground, and things got faster as it spun, let's have this footage get sped up right as that kick happens. So this is a clip that I shot in 64 frames per second. And depending on the type of camera you're using, there's often options to shoot in higher frame rates. And that means you can slow them down more in post-production and still get a smooth image. So keep that in mind when you're talking about slow motion. I have a whole video on shooting slow motion with a Canon G7X Mark II if you guys wanted to see what I'm talking about with the in-camera frame rates. So in order to start editing the time on this, I want to toggle keyframes on for speed under the time remapping in the effects control panel. Now I also want to right click my clip and go to show clip keyframes, time remapping, and make sure speed is turned on. So now whenever I add a keyframe, I'll be able to adjust it here. So let's go to the start of the clip and click this little diamond button to add a keyframe. Now I'm going to go all the way to an interesting point, or the point that I want to speed up, like right before I kick the snow there. I'll add another keyframe before it starts, and then I'll add another one after it ends. So now I have a couple keyframes for me to play around with, and since I right-clicked and showed the timer mapping and speed keyframes, I can just click and drag different parts of this to slow or speed things up. So this beginning portion here, I can slow it down to 50%, and then I'll actually have to move these other clips over to the side. So remember to do these effects as you go rather than afterwards, so you don't have to readjust things. And I'll extend this clip back out to bring back that lost footage. And then I'll slow down the end portion as well, but I'll speed up this portion where it's kicking the snow. So I'll speed that up all the way to 257%, let's say. So now let's play that back and see what that looks like. So the whole clip while I'm walking, slow, fast, slow again. So that's how you do those quick little timer mapping effects that they used near the end of clips to speed up that cameraman that was spinning underneath that platform. Next, let's talk about how to replicate that color grading and cinematic widescreen look. If you were doing a true widescreen, you'd have to start your project or sequence in that resolution. So go to settings, and then you'd actually, instead of doing 1920 by 1080, you do something like 1920 by 810. And then when you open that sequence and place the video inside of it, it'll ask you to either change the sequence settings or keep existing settings. And then the video would actually become widescreen or anamorphic. And when you export this, it'll be 1920 by 810. And then when you upload it to things like YouTube, YouTube will automatically add those black bars on top. That's all something that you should look into, research, and learn about if you're looking to truly understand resolution sizes and how they date back to film and all that. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to recreate that look in Premiere without actually exporting it as widescreen if you don't want to. So one way that you can easily recreate that is go to your project media bin, go to File, New, Adjustment Layer, and then drag the adjustment layer on top of your project or the clips or sequence that you want to be cinematic and widescreen looking. So I'm going to just extend it over all of these clips here. And then on this adjustment layer, we're going to add some effects. So under your effects panel, search for the crop adjustment. It should be under the transform video effects folder. Now I'm going to click and drag this crop on the adjustment layer, and in the effects controls, I'll set the top and bottom percentages to about 12.2%. That will very closely replicate the look and the black bars that come associated with a 2:3:5:1 anamorphic ratio. Next, we're going to add some simple color grading. You can even adjust the intensity of these to be stronger or weaker if they're too strong, and you can even add things like a faded film effect, sharpness, vibrance, saturation, and all that. If you want to get more detailed with it, you can go into the curves adjustment tool and adjust each channel individually to bring out different colors in the shadows and highlights. However, I'm just going to use this Kodak Fuji preset in this tutorial. You might like some of the presets, or check out my fuller color grading tutorial on my channel. So let's see what our result looks like with some of those effects added on. So we've got the flash, we've got the slow-mo and the time remapping, and we've got that widescreen color graded look. So those are just the very basics and beginnings. I left a lot of seeds in this tutorial on other videos you should reference and look into, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this first episode of Music Video Breakdown. If you guys enjoyed it, let me know what you thought in the comments below. You can follow me on social media at Justin Odisho on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that. Let me know if there's any music videos that you want to see me do next. And subscribe and check out my channel for a ton of other tutorials I already have up and more to come. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.